All right, a bombshell report tonight about how Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and her office coordinated testimony with the Security and Exchange Commission ahead of a Senate hearing. The Heritage Foundation Oversight Project, of which I'm associated, through a FOIA request, obtained emails from Warren's office to the office of Chairman Gary Gensler 2 days before his Senate testimony back in September of 2021. The email from Warren's economic policy advisor includes a list of questions. Get this, a list of questions that Senator Warren planned to ask, along with suggested answers for the chairman of the SEC. The advisor also wrote, quote, "Let me know if you're okay with the questions as currently written." 2 days later, she sent a follow-up, quote, "Let me know if it's looking like the chair has any issue with the framing of the questions. Definitely don't want to put him in a tough spot," end quote. And it appears the chairman didn't have any issue with these questions because Senator Warren asked almost verbatim from the email. Check this out.
Chair Gensler, advocates say crypto markets are all about financial inclusion, but the people who are most economically vulnerable are the ones who are most likely to have to withdraw their money the fastest when the market drops. Does this sound like the path to financial inclusion to you?
All right. Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. As you can see, the corruption there's just more evidence now. And it's just shameful that these are the people that are supposed to be representing, the everyday investors, and people like Elizabeth Warren, they're supposed to be overseeing the people that are supposed to be overseeing the protection of the investors. It's just shameful, man. And the biggest thing is this whole tough spot stuff. So coming up here, Eleanor Terrett says, definitely don't want to put him in a tough spot. And then John Deaton hits it on the head right here. He says, Elizabeth Warren, does it bother you at all that Gary Gensler put 75 or over 75,000 XRP holders in a quote unquote tough spot? What about the LBC token holders, BlockFi customers? You claim to be tough on the big banks. Gensler represents the big banks, and you fabricated answers to your own questions. Shame on you, which I 100% agree. I mean, just in particular, speaking on myself as an XRP investor, when you dropped the lawsuit and our chairman, Jay Clayton, dropped the lawsuit as he's walking out the door in December 2020, right before days before Christmas, the act alone just devastated financial plans. I've talked about it on this channel how, the previous all-time high of XRP, the digital asset XRP, was, just under $4 at 380 on some exchanges. So it's like, at least with, the rest of the markets, the rest of the crypto market, we knew over time that it was a matter of time before we had another bull market, right? So obviously, if the lawsuit wasn't dropped and, they weren't trying to stifle or hinder Ripple, the company, in the digital asset XRP, and it was able to, follow the rest of the market without being pulled back with shackles, I mean, we could at least hit the all-time high, or, if not, surpass all-time high, which could have changed the financial course of my family's life. But no, they dropped the lawsuit, and it is blatant corruption that's shaming the markets in a general sense. And it's just sad, man. Coming over here, there's more. This is from Digital Asset Investors. Think about this. Senator Warren's job is to oversee the SEC to protect Americans. Instead, she gives Gary Gensler the answers to the test. Pure corruption, which, I mean, I 100% agree with this. Tony Edward from Thinking Crypto says, I'm not surprised by this. Senator Warren is a professional hypocrite and Gary Gensler is corrupt regulator. Gary needs to be kicked out of office as soon as possible. And I agree with that, but I'm like, you know what? I came down here and I said, let him take his official L first. So let him take the loss and feel the shame. I mean, who knows if he feels the shame? It's just sad. Digital asset investors responding to Elizabeth Warren's tweet here. She's put this up yesterday. It says, crypto has a big fraud problem, leading to billions in losses for American consumers. We need strong oversight and consumer protections. And the only people who should be afraid of that are crooks and cheats. Are they talking about themselves? I mean, it's obvious. There's blatant corruption here. Digital Asset Investor says, your buddy Gary Gensler was CFTC chairman during MF Global. The fraud was committed by Gary's former boss at Goldman. He met with Sam Bankman-Fried multiple times. The CEO of Alameda is the daughter of Gary's boss at MIT. Is it really a corrupt problem, or is it really a crypto problem? Which is a fair point, especially based on all the evidence and facts that we have to utilize right now. It's just shameful, man. Coming over here, Digital Asset says, another question. Are the congressmen that are supposedly going to hold Gary accountable also going to call Senator Warren out for this? You know, Tom Emmer, is a new day coming? Are you going to hold, Senator Warren, accountable for this? Just be a waiting game to kind of see what happens, man. It's just crazy times. Weezy X says, we knew from the last crypto hearing that Senator Warren was softballing questions. You could tell it was scripted. Now we have the proof. Government is a damn joke. Well said, Weezy X. This is from Blockchain Backer. He says, I remember how scripted this interview sounded when it happened in 2021. Turns out it was. Warren is a terrible actor. The fake sweet grandma act doesn't work. Just look at that face. I mean, I couldn't stand the way she talked in general. So anyways, Weezy X says, Finson says, speaking of digital asset XRP says, Finson says it's a currency. RS says it's a commodity. SEC says it's a security. It's clear. And then I came down here and I said, unreal. It's quite clear, Weezy. Meaning like, yeah, it's just shameful. Isn't it so clear as, Chairman Gensler says? I think it's quite clear. Yeah, it ain't quite clear. Quite clear. You don't even know yourself. This is from Warren Davison. It's a 42-second clip. He says, Gary Gensler's selective enforcement approach to regulating drives capital outside our market. We need a bright line test that delineates what is and is not a security. So let's take a quick listen into this.
What is a security? And Gary Gensler will say, oh, it's so clear. We have the Howey test. It's not clear at all, which is why he says, come in and talk to us. And company after company comes in and talks to him, including FTX, and they either don't detect things like they didn't on Celsius and who knows how many others, or they do things that just endless discovery for years in some cases, and they never get around to definitively saying, nope, this is a security, or, hey, here's a no action letter. Only 3 no action letters. So it's really driving capital outside of our markets. We have to make a bright line test that everyone knows, not just the innovators and investors, but the regulators themselves.
Yeah, we're waiting for that new day, man. This from Roger Guru says, just in Biden administration to establish cryptocurrency legal framework in the coming months. Just as a little section I wanted to pull out of this article here. It says the statement notes that the aforementioned framework, quote, identifies clear risk, addressing unnamed crypto companies that ignore applicable financial regulations and basic risk controls. According to the White House, furthermore, the framework will address cybersecurity questions as well as cryptocurrency platforms that, quote, mislead consumers, have conflicts of interest, fail to make adequate disclosures, or commit outright fraud. We need to hold our current government officials, to this same standard as well, because clearly their acts are blatant. There's blatant conflicts of interest. There's blatant corruption. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's any fraud, but that's kind of my opinion there. Coming over here, John Deaton's responding to it says, I'm aware of how important the United States is to the global economy. However, the U.S. is losing its stronghold on global finance. For the first time, countries like Saudi Arabia are considering transacting in non-USD denominations. The U.S. should embrace digital assets. Absolutely. They better get on top of it, man. It can get real ugly. Check this out. It's from Watcher Guru as well. It says, Jim Cramer says Bitcoin is being manipulated higher and he wouldn't touch it. So I said, did it show it in here? Oh, mine didn't update in here, but pretty much I said, okay, so it's time to do the opposite. It's opposite time. Jungle Eek says, the bull run continues. And I want to shout out Monica Long. This is from Ripple, says, starting the year off on a high note, we are excited to share the longtime Ripple and GM, Monica Long, is now president. Monica says, over half my professional career has been in crypto, and more importantly at Ripple. I am incredibly honored and ready to hit the ground running as president. Thank you, Brad and Chris Larson, for the opportunity of a lifetime. So shout out Monica Long. That's awesome. Brad says, there's a lot I could say about how singularly impactful Monica Long has been to Ripple's growth. For now, I'll just leave it with you. She is brilliant, strategic, and has the ability to pick up and learn skills like no one I've ever seen before. Congrats, Monica. So shout out Monica Long there, man. But hey, if we come over here, we're still over $1 trillion market cap, almost at a $1.1 trillion market cap. Bitcoin sitting at 23,152. Ethereum sitting at 1,600 even. XRP is just below 41.5 cents. So we got some positivity there. And if we come over here, look at this. We're in the neutral. We were just in the greed yesterday at a 55, but we're back at neutral. So we'll see. Are we going to continue to come over here, see some more upside? Who knows? Obviously, if Jim Cramer is saying staying away from it, I can definitely see a little bit more positivity coming in the market. Doing the inverse Cramer there. That's all I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate your support. With all that being said, stay strong out there and be safe.